Okay, we're going to move on now, and Russia and Ukraine conducted their first large-scale prisoner exchange in nearly 5 months, with each side returning 157 detainees each. This came after the second round of US-brokered talks that concluded in Abu Dhabi yesterday. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said that those released include both military personnel and civilians. In a statement issued earlier, the United Arab Emirates Ministry of Foreign Affairs welcomed cooperation between Russia and Ukraine on the prisoner exchange, saying it demonstrated the UAE's role as a reliable mediator in easing the crisis and promoting constructive dialogue. US President's Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said representatives from the US, Ukraine and Russia reached a consensus on a prisoner swap, describing the discussions as specific and constructive. Joining us now is Dr. Amarasinghe once again. Thank you very much. Pleasure once again. We don't know much about what's going on behind those doors in Abu Dhabi. However, this prisoner swap, it's happened before at talks agreed in Istanbul. How significant really is it? And is it a sign things are going well in the United Arab Emirates?
I don't think so, because as you stated, this prisoner swap is not the first time since the Russian aggression in Ukraine. Even after Istanbul, we saw one prisoner swap which ended up with no significant result. And this one is, of course, an offshoot of Abu Dhabi talks, which partially successfully ended. But this prisoner swap, when you look at it in depth, there are two implications. Firstly, I think it's a sign raised by Putin and Kiev that they are willing to negotiate in the long run under the terms given by President Trump for a ceasefire agreement. But while having in mind, we also should not forget the fact that for the past few weeks, right, Russia has been tremendously attacking the infrastructure facilities in Ukraine, worsening the situation. But when you look at the prisoner swap from the second implication, for both sides, it gives a moral booster, because both Ukrainian and Russian forces have suffered heavily, and both sides have undergone heavy casualties. And with regard to Russians, and there are people in Russia, there are people who have not heard a single news about their loved ones who went to war. So this is kind of a great energy booster to promote the morale of the Russian forces. But also, when you look at the problem, when you look at the context, in a more systematic manner, it becomes obvious this prisoner swap will not be taken as a pretext or as a ground reason by Russians to thwart or to stop their military ventures in Ukraine, because even under the negotiations are going on, they have not completely stayed away from striking their targets in Ukraine.
Indeed. Dr. Amarasinghe, do stay with us. We are going back over to Norway and